Welcome to Express Tribune Headlines. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan, jailed for nearly 9 months on multiple charges, is set to appear via video link before the Supreme Court today, in a case concerning amendments to the NAB law. This follows the recent relief granted to him in several cases, including the Al Qadir Trust matter. This marks Khan's first public appearance since his arrest last August. The government of Pakistan has announced a decrease in the cost of petrol and high-speed diesel for the next 2 weeks. The new prices that take effect from today come in response to recent drops in global oil prices. Drivers will benefit from a Rs 15.39 per litre reduction in petrol, bringing the new price down to Rs 273.1. Meanwhile, the price of high-speed diesel also sees a decrease of Rs 7.88 per litre, with the new rate set at Rs 274.08. The government also announced that the price reductions will also be applicable to light diesel oil and kerosene. PPP Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari criticized PTI in the National Assembly for seeking dialogue with the military while shunning talks with political parties, accusing them of hypocrisy in their constitutional commitments. Bilawal highlighted the PTI's inconsistent stance, juxtaposing their public advocacy for constitutional supremacy with their actions of engaging the military in political matters. Amid ongoing parliamentary confrontations and criticisms of PTI's governance in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Bilawal offered to showcase Sindh's achievements in healthcare as a model for PTI-run regions. The Met Office has forecast very hot weather for the southern and central parts of Pakistan for today. Karachi is also set to experience scorching weather with temperatures predicted to reach to 39 degrees Celsius and 79% humidity. It comes a day after temperatures surged to the season's record highs in Sindh province. Pakistan's stock market faced a slight dip during intraday trading, having reached an all-time high a day earlier. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's push for privatization, the return of foreign investors and other positive data on manufacturing output, and the inclusion of National Bank of Pakistan in a key index further fueled investor optimism. Overall, the PSX performance reflects a combination of positive developments, with privatization plans playing a major role. A third-semester university student was shot dead by muggers in Karachi's Jamali Bridge area. Nihal Muhammad Nihal had offered resistance to armed robbers opening fire on them despite being injured. He killed one of the attackers and injured another. However, he was also shot and killed in the exchange of fire. The incident highlights the growing problem of street crime in Karachi that has claimed dozens of lives during the past 1 year. The city has also seen an increase in bike snatchings, with 110cc two-wheelers being the favorite two-wheelers preferred by criminals. Figures show that motorbikes worth Rs 194.1 million were stolen or snatched in Karachi during the past 6 months. Minister of State for IT and Telecommunication Shahza Fatma Khaja met with US Ambassador to Pakistan Donald Blome to discuss boosting cooperation in the IT and telecommunication sectors. They focused on initiatives like digitalizing Pakistan's judicial system and promoting the gaming industry. Ambassador Blome emphasized the US's interest in expanding collaboration and highlighted the significant contributions of US firms to the sector in Pakistan. Shahza Fatma outlined Pakistan's commitment to enhancing its IT and telecom sectors, stressing the importance of business-to-business relations and the exchange of IT professionals between the two countries. The meeting also touched on the government's broader digitalization efforts and the pivotal role of the private sector in economic growth. The Pakistan cricket team reached England on Wednesday after playing a 3-match series against Ireland, which they won 2-1, following their dominant performance in the last 2 T20s. The Pakistani team under the leadership of Babar Azam will play a 4-match T20 series against England from May 22nd to 30th, which would be their last outing before the commencement of the T20 World Cup 2024. France declared a state of emergency in New Caledonia following deadly riots sparked by electoral reform, resulting in the deaths of 3 indigenous Kanak and a police official. The emergency measures, effective for 12 days, allow for the banning of gatherings and restrict movement on the island. The unrest began after a new bill was passed in Paris, enabling French residents living in New Caledonia for 10 years to vote in provincial elections, a move feared to undermine the Kanak vote. In response to the violence, 500 police officers were deployed to the island, schools were closed, and a curfew was imposed in the capital. French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal and Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin convened a crisis meeting to address the situation. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Beijing on Thursday for a state visit to China. At the invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping, Putin will pay a state visit to China from May 16th to 17th, as this year marks the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Russia. Xi and Putin will exchange views on bilateral relations, cooperation in various fields, and international and regional issues of common concern during the visit, according to Wang Wenbin, spokesman of China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The International Court of Justice is set to hear South Africa's call to stop Israel's invasion of Rafah, which it describes as a genocidal operation threatening the very survival of Palestinians. South Africa's top lawyers will argue that the ICJ should order an immediate ceasefire throughout Gaza, citing the court's previous ruling in January that Israel must prevent genocidal acts and enable humanitarian aid to Gaza. The ICJ earlier stopped short of ordering a ceasefire, and South Africa is arguing that the situation on the ground requires fresh action. The Rafah operation has displaced an additional 600,000 Palestinians, and South Africa claims that Israel's actions are themselves genocidal. South Africa is urging the ICJ to order Israel to stop its invasion of Rafah and elsewhere in Gaza, citing the overwhelming evidence of the harm caused to Palestinians that includes 35,000 fatalities caused by Israel. The armed wing of Hamas, the Al-Qassam Brigades, has announced that its fighters killed 12 Israeli soldiers in a complex operation in Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp. According to Hamas, the operation targeted an Israeli military bulldozer and a group of Israeli soldiers holed up in a house. The fighters used shells and explosive devices to attack the Israeli forces. The Israeli army responded with airstrikes, but Hamas claims that at least 12 Israeli soldiers were killed in the operation. The Israeli army has not confirmed the number of casualties. The operation in Jabalia camp came amid Israel's invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza. Meta Platforms has restored Facebook posts by Malaysian media covering Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's meeting with a Hamas leader. Anwar had met Ismail Haniyeh of Hamas in Qatar on Monday. Malaysia's government had sent a letter to Meta asking for an explanation after the posts were removed. It also inquired about the closure of a Facebook account belonging to a media outlet that covers Palestinian issues. The removal of the posts drew complaints from Malaysia's government, which warned of firm action against Meta and other social media companies. Meta claimed the posts were removed in an error. Social media has responded unfavorably to King Charles III's first official portrait since his coronation last year. The portrait depicts the monarch adorned in the ceremonial red attire of the Welsh Guard set against a backdrop of red. While many critics focused on the hideous nature of the red tones, others saw similarities between the monarch and satanic imagery. The NFL has released its 2024 schedule with the 18-week 272-game season kicking off on September 5th. Key games of the schedule include the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens in a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers will play the first ever NFL game in South America on September 6th. Furthermore, NFL's Tom Brady kicks off his broadcasting career this season by calling the Cleveland Browns versus Dallas Cowboys game on September 8th.